Excuse me, but do you know how to get to, Carnegie Lecture Hall?
Practice, practice, practice.
Ah, funny!
Or you can go across the street
Why?
to get to the other side.
Ah, this guy is good.
Good evening, and welcome to Puppetocracy and the Media, a discourse that focuses on puppetry and its translation through the medium of television. As you can see, we have a camera team here this evening. We are recording this unique moment on video here at the Carnegie Museum, and I think that you will agree that the museum is the right place to stimulate, collect, and preserve this discussion. We have here tonight on our panel 3 of the most distinguished puppets in broadcasting, as well as a promising newcomer. But I would like to begin with an introduction to the history of televised puppets. Here are our ancestors, examples of puppets through history. Here is a picture of what we have come to believe is one of the first puppets. The Venus of Willendorf dates back to 30,000 BC and was discovered in a cave in Austria. The figure of a woman discovered in an ancient Roman tomb. A drawing from the Renaissance of a puppet show. Now we jump to 1925 in London, where a Scotsman by the name of John Logie Baird invented the world's first television. And then it happened. The first puppet appeared on television. In 1947, Kukla, Fran, and Ollie hit the spotlight with their friendly charm and spontaneous wit. These 2 puppets and their lovable lady friend Fran were famous for using their imaginations to take themselves and their audience beyond the limitations of their small performance space. Lamb Chop and her radiant and inspirational creator and puppeteer, ventriloquist Sherry Lewis, have charmed children and adults alike. Jim Henson realized the potential of TV for puppetry. He was a great artist and understood the use of equipment in a television studio in a way none of his predecessors had even dreamed of.
Really like that. That was really
For 33 years, a gregarious blue monster has connected with children around the world. I am so delighted to have him here at our conference. He is a pioneer in educational television. I am both thrilled and excited to introduce the one and only Grover.
Hey, Artie, baby! Sorry I'm late, Artie. I took a left turn at Modern Art and wound up in Cincinnati. Oh, it's a sign! Your furry, lovable old pal Grover here. What are all these people doing here?
Well, Grover, we're here to talk about the magical art of puppets on TV.
Puppets? Did you say puppets? Oh, I love puppets! What exactly are puppets again?
Well, Grover, puppets
Oh,
are
do not tell me! Do not tell me! I know exactly what puppets are! Puppets are something you wear around your waist to keep up your pants. Yes.
I think you're speaking about belts, Grover.
Oh, yeah. I knew that. There is no belt exhibit in this museum, is there?
Not that I know of. Grover, you really have no idea what a puppet is, do you?
Not a clue, no. No, sorry about that.
Well, Grover, puppets are inanimate creations brought to life by the brilliant hand manipulations of puppeteers.
Oh.
They can be used to entertain, to enlighten, and to educate. And that's something you know quite a bit about, isn't it?
Yes. Where I come from, we deal with that stuff all the time. What do you want to know? I can teach you all kinds of things. I can teach you about numbers and letters and... Oh, how about this? Ask me the difference between near and far.
Very well, Grover. What is the difference between near and far?
You got it, Artie baby! Near. Far! Oh! Near. Near. Sorry, Artie.
All right, okay, Grover, I get it. Near, far, near, far, near, far.
Wow, you are a very good student, Artie.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Mention it.
Now, Grover,
Yes.
I'm sure that you are aware that children from over 120 different nations visit your neighborhood,
Yes.
Sesame Street.
Yes, this is true. And I have family in countries all around the world.
Really?
Yes, and every one of them stayed at my house for the holidays.
Did they enjoy their visit, Grover?
Oh, yes, they loved it. I even took them to the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Really?
Yes, and I will show you. Roll the tape!
I'm going crazy here today. I'm having so much fun. I'm Telly Monster from Sesame Street, and we're here with the international float on the Macy's Day Parade. There's my friend Zelly Boba. He's from Moscow. Over here, there's Phil. He's from Egypt. There's Musinka from Moscow. There's my friend Rumpel upstairs. He's a grouch from Germany. I'm exhausted from being so excited here today. This is so intensely cool.
Wow, it must be great to come from such a big family.
You are a part of that family too, Artie, baby.
I am?
Yes, because deep down, inside, no matter where we are from, and no matter if we have skin or fur or feathers, we are all part of one great big happy family. You are my family, and she is my family, and he is my family, and even that guy in the ugly sweater is part of my family. And you are a part of my family too.
Well, thank you, Grover. And the guy in the ugly sweater thanks you as well.
Oh, yes, no problem.
How do you get along with your puppeteer?
A lot of my friends tell me he's beneath me, but I don't know. I feel kind of attached to the guy. He is awfully manipulative, and I'm not really sure he's all that bright. I try to talk to him, but everything I say goes right over his head. Let's now talk with a very special guest who is well known as a lovable and humorous character that captured the hearts and imaginations of the consumer public. We will now turn our attention to Sock Puppet, who is joining us via satellite. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello, Art Cat. Hello, Puppet Conference. I'm speaking to you from Times Square in New York City, the greatest city in New York State.
Thank you for joining us, Sock Puppet. After your successful stint as the spokespuppet for a popular pet supply company, what are your upcoming projects?
I did this appearance for Trivial Pursuit. It was me, Mayor Giuliani, and the village people. It was really cool. And, I don't know, like I'm always looking for something new to do, you know? I love showbiz.
What do you think the role of puppets will be in regard to the mass media in the future?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, the mass media will continue to take their cues from television commercials, you know? Like, we're the ones who are pushing the envelope. We're the ones on the avant-garde doing the new special effects. Like, check out this new special effect I've been working on. Ready? Here it goes. Wasn't that cool? That costs millions and millions of dollars to develop. And it's interesting because, you know, you spend these millions and millions of dollars on commercials, but then, like, all that money generates millions and millions of dollars for the companies that I represent, except for Pets.com, which went out of business.
Thank you, Sock Puppet. Fans and clients can contact Sock Puppet through his agent at www.haken.com.
Thank you, Art Cat. Thank you, Puppet Conference. I had a great time. Grover, you owe me a call.
Do you like this?
Gosh, I love so many things. I love rubber chickens, I love the Marx Brothers, I love wild comedy, and I love beautiful and tender poetry. And I see no reason in the world why you can't put them all together.
Many of you may not be familiar with one of our panelists. Mr. Leonard Spencer Shelby is a 150-year-old newcomer to television and a distinguished member of the children's nature program, The Magic Woods. Welcome, Mr. Shelby.
Thank you, Art Cat. Thank you, ladies and gentle puppets. My father always told me to open with a joke. But unfortunately, today I'm not in a joking mood.
What's wrong, Mr. Shelby?
Regrettably, on my way to this puppet conference, I was violently assaulted by a snail.
That's terrible. Were you able to get a good look at him?
Well, it all happened so fast. On a more up note, I'm very delighted to be here among such esteemed colleagues, especially as this is my first time at such an important media event, to be welcomed into the club, as it were.
What's new in your neck of the woods?
Well, the Magic Woods is a program that plants a garden in children's imaginations by showing the magic in everyday nature. We want to reconnect children and their parents to the wonders to be found right outside their door in the backyard. You might say we're using TV itself to tell children to turn off the television and go outside.
Well, that's certainly a unique approach. Where can we see your show?
The initial episode of The Magic Woods has aired locally here in Pittsburgh and will be available nationally this year on American public television. We hope that our audience will embrace it and it will become a regular series.
If I can interrupt for just a second, if you ask me, Mr. Shelby here will be a big hit because he's got a funny hat. That is the secret to success in this business. If you've got a funny hat, the sky's the limit.
Thank you, Mr. Bear. As my father always said, if you want to get ahead, get a hat.
Well, it's great to see a new show utilizing puppets. How did you come to choose this art form as a vehicle for your message?
Being here today in this prestigious art museum reminds me that we at the Magic Woods are using puppets on television to celebrate the greatest art of all, nature.
Why didn't you just use real animals?
We use both. However, using puppets to teach about nature is a wonderful way to give voice to the voiceless. People will discover through our work that the world is richer for the inclusion of all beings.
Thank you, Mr. Shelby, and good luck with everything.
Thank you, Art Cat. Thank you, ladies and gentle puppets all.
What do you think about this? In a puppet show, there is no reality. Therefore, everything is reality.
To me, it's all an illusion, whether it's video or film or live theater. It's how do we suck the audience into a dream, just like a big vacuum cleaner.
3 generations of viewers have been riveted by a diminutive but enormously sweet and talented member of the puppet world. Her quirky antics have entertained on The Ed Sullivan Show, late-night talk shows, and variety specials, to name just a few. She was originally given life by Shari Lewis, and now by her daughter, Mallory Lewis. I am immensely pleased to have them here with us today.
Oh, thank you, Art Cat. Hello, ladies and whatchamacallits. My name is Landchot. And this is the opening day of Landchot's World Tour. Ta-da! Honey. And to my left is my favorite new supporting act, Miss...
You think I'm your supporting act?
Just look at what you're doing.
Fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, give her a big hand. She's new.
Honestly, Lamb Chop, you better be nice to me. You know, I brought you here.
In her suitcase, she brought me here. Oh, sorry, never put me in the baggage compartment. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh, what are you doing here anyhow? I mean, this is a symposium on puppets. Are you a puppet?
No, I'm a ventriloquist.
You're a vanilla twist?
No, not vanilla twist, ventriloquist. It means that I make you talk without moving my lips.
Mallory, I can handle it from here. Go on.
Okay, if that's the way you want it. But, honey, I'll just be an arm's length away, okay?
Lamb Chop, tell me, how'd you two get started?
Well, when Sherry died, I convinced Mallory to give show business a try. I said, slap on the makeup, sister, and let's get out there, 'cause I am not done.
You've been in business for a very long time. To what do you attribute your continued success?
Good writers? No, seriously. The grandmas know me, the nannies know me, and the kids know me. And to know me is to love me. You see, I've been on TV for almost 5 decades. I'm an icon. Oh, I feel a song coming on. Puppets make the world go round and round. We touch all ages, I have found. From days gone by to modern times, we make everybody laugh. From Donraku to Sockdot to we've been around a while, 'cause puppets make the world go round.
Thank you very much, Lamb Chop.
Okay.
And now, I am very pleased to have with us Fozzie Bear from...
Thank you, and thank you. Waka waka, Fozzie Bear here. Hey, I just flew in from seeing the statue of Venus de Milo, and boy, I thought my arms were tired. Thank you. Hey, I tell you, museums are tough for a comic. Why, last week, a friend of mine played the Louvre Museum, and all the Vincent van Goghs got up and went. Funny. Is this thing on? Why don't you go to some questions? I'm dying here.
Well, before we start with the queries, why don't you tell us a little bit about the mission of the Muppet Show?
Well, my personal mission was to get through the show without being pelted with overripe tomatoes. You might say for me, the Muppet Show was mission impossible. Then again, you might not. But if you ask Kermit, he'd probably tell you that when we started out, Sesame Street was already a big success. Yeah, and Kermit and this guy, Jim Henson, yeah, I'm not really sure who he was, but he seemed to have a hand in everything we did. Anyway, they wanted to make a show that was for everyone, not just for kids. Yeah, a show that was for entertaining, not educating. Yeah, get it? And if you know the kind of acts we had on the show, yeah, you know nobody learned anything from it.
How has the audience changed since the beginning of your career on The Muppet Show about 25 years ago?
Well, let's see. Their aim is better and they use riper tomatoes. But let me see if I can get serious for a moment. No, I can't get serious. So let me put it this way. Today's audience wants shows that move faster. Yeah, so in the old days, I'd tell a joke like this. A man came to the door with a drum. I told him to beat it. Waka waka. But for today's audience, I tell the joke like this. A man came to the door with a drum. I told him to beat it. Waka waka. Next question, please.
Well then, what are your thoughts on entertainment as art? Do you have anything to say to our art lovers?
To tell the truth, I don't have any thoughts about entertainment as art. No, wait. Yes, I do. I feel that any kind of entertainment can be art if you leave it lying around long enough. Who knows, someday even my jokes could be considered great art. They've certainly been lying around long enough. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. You've been a great audience, especially that poor security guard over there who's had to listen to my act all day long. Oh, excuse me. Before I go, do you validate parking?
Well, Fozzie, we sure do. And you sure are a hard act to follow. But before you leave, I think we should turn our attention to our very attentive audience. Does anyone have any questions for our guests?
Can I say something? We can push someone into an oven and bake them into gingerbread. And I mean, who in the world hasn't wished that at some point?
What can puppets do that humans can't?
Oh, good question. Puppets are very good at keeping secrets. You know, when Mallory was a little girl, sometimes Sherry would bring me into her room at night, and Mallory would tell me a secret secret that she didn't want Shari to know. And I never, ever tattled on her.
What's it like to work with humans?
Oh, humans are the best people to work with. First of all, they don't hibernate, which gives me an extra 3 months of work every year.
Oh, I just got the sign from the technician that we finally got the satellite connection to Sesame Street working. Elmo, can you hear me? We're here at the conference discussing what it's like working with humans. Maybe you can shed a little light on the subject.
Oh, hi! Oh, it's Elmo from Sesame Street. Elmo loves working with humans. Some of Elmo's best friends are humans. Oh, like Mr. Frankie. He's a cameraman. Oh, hi, Mr. Frankie.
Hi, Elmo.
Would you please turn the camera so that our friends at the conference can see who is here and how nicely we get along?
Whatever your heart desires. How you doing?
Oh, boy. Oh, ah, look at that. Well, you know, Mr. Blake does sound. Yeah. Ah! Sorry, Mr. Blake. Oh, look. There's Mr. Chuck. He's been on Sesame Street since the beginning, huh, Mr. Chuck? Oh, and there's Mr. Steve Dannenberg and Chin. They do props.
Hi, Elmo.
Hi. And there's Mr. Dan. He does lighting.
Hi, Elmo. Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Dan. Oh, and look, there's Mr. Roscoe Orman. He plays Gordon.
Hi. How you doing, Elmo?
Hi. And there's Maddie and Mike. Oh, they help with lighting, too. Oh, and look over there. There's Mr. Ken.
Hi, Elmo.
He directs Sesame. How would you say?
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. He directs the show. And there's Mr. Dan, who had the mic in the wrong place. Oh, and there's Miss Ellen Lewis. She does PR. And there's Danette. Hi, Danette.
Hi, Elmo.
She gets the celebrities for the show. Oh, and look, there's Mr. Gordon.
Elmo.
Mr. Gordon puts the mics on Elmo. Oh, and there's Mr. Mike Schupak. He helps with Elmo. And there's Dan. He's production secretary. And there's Heather. She helps with Elmo, too. Oh, and there's Mr. Jimmy.
Hey, Elmo.
He's another cameraman, a good one, too. And there's Mr. Sean.
Hey, Elmo.
He's stage manager.
How are you?
Oh, okay, Mr. Sean. Boy, Elmo loves all of them around him, making Elmo visible to you. So greetings from everyone at Sesame Street. Bye-bye. Elmo loves you.
Thank you, Elmo, and thank you, Sesame Street. And on that note, we'll bring these excellent proceedings to a close. I want to take this opportunity to thank our guests today. It's been stimulating delving into the subject of puppets in television with our delegation from The Muppet Show, Lamb Chop, Sesame Street, and The Magic Woods, and Sock Puppet. I wish all of you great success in the future.
Where do you go now?
Back to my theater.
Why?
That's the only place. The sillier you are, the better. Comedy is difficult. Tragedy is easy. That's an old theater line, older than Methuselah.